Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM19 story, The Head Coach with me, Daniel. It's Season 3, Episode 4, and today was due to be the first doubleheader of the season, but it's now just a difficult away trip to the top side Dulwich Hamlet in the Vanarama National League South. There's no special reason for that, quite simply the Dartford game was postponed due to a waterlogged pitch at our place, and that's been moved back a week in between an FA Trophy tie. So we're not going to show all three of those. The Bromley game we're going to rotate heavily. And then against Dartford we've never done too well in the past. So I think even though they're top of the league, the Dulwich Hamlet game is our best chance of a result. You can see we're still doing pretty well. We're clinging on to 7th with that game in hand against Dartford. Most importantly for our expectations this season, we were supposed to finish comfortably in mid-table. After joining them in a relegation battle last year, they didn't want to be involved. We're 22 points clear of relegation. We're safe already. We finished on more points than we finished on last year, I'm pretty sure. I'll go and double check that just so I don't make myself look bad. We finished on 44 last year, so we're 1 win away. 2 points off last season's total, and we've still got 18 games to go. More importantly, we're also 10 points clear of 12th place, so it looks like we're going to get a top half finish too. It's very close down to 11th place with Hemel Hempstead, and then after that there's quite a big gap. You can see on the right of the screen the finances are actually holding up quite well. We have the odd month where we get 10,000 profit and then the odd month where we lose 10,000. So we're pretty much staying on an even keel all season. But on the pitch things have been going quite well. We've been unbeaten for a little while. We have had a few sticky spells defensively. But overall I have no complaints based on where we were last season. So obviously in the last episode you were with me for a disastrous away trip to Welling. It was probably towards the end of an awful defensive run, one that we haven't had the like of at any other point this season, and it was just a bad day at the office, so I'm not too worried about that. A few of the lads came for a team meeting after about the dressing room atmosphere. I told them it was about getting results on the pitch and let's turn it around, and since then they've been absolutely fantastic. So in the following game we drew 3-3 at home to Maidenhead. Again we were pegged back after going 3-2 up, but before that we were behind in the game twice. So a really good effort from the lads. Pappy Gay with a brace and Jack Batten scored both an own goal and one at the right end to ensure that we got a point. We then played Weston-super-Mare in the FA Trophy, a side that are just in the bottom half of this division. We rotated quite a lot and you'll see there's a very familiar name there. An absolute legend from the first season coming back. He scored the first goal of this series and he scored the first goal of this game too. Aaron Jarvis has been signed by a director of football and he's one we're going to look at in a bit more detail in a minute. Ken Charles got the other as we won 2-0. We then won 5-1 at home to Woking. Jatta with a brace, Makaka with a brace and Jack Batten again scoring from a set piece. A fantastic result which was just marred slightly by a Jarvis injury, but thankfully it wasn't too serious and only kept him out for a game or two. We then went away to Chippenham, who were up in 4th place at the time. A really creditable 0-0 draw. We worked so hard and we deserved to get the result in the end. And you can see Jarvis came back on the bench for that one just 10 days later. So not a serious injury at all. We then went away to relegation strugglers Gosport in this division. We played them in the FA Trophy first round. We won 1-0. It was an early goal from Luke Fairland, but we looked confident at all times and there was never any doubt we were going to get through. We then played Weston-super-Mare in a league game this time. It was on Boxing Day and unfortunately it was a 2-2 draw. We got a late equaliser after falling behind. We absolutely dominated the game. I have no idea how we didn't win it easily, but unfortunately we wasted some clear-cut chances again. Gay and Redding with the goals in that one, and we continued our good form and our long unbeaten run with a win away at Concord just 2 days later. We had to rotate a few players due to fatigue and just the 2-day break in between the games, but Seika Jatta, the hero, popped up with a 92nd minute winner. It was thoroughly deserved and we were happy to get the 3 points. And then in our first game of January, we played Bishop Stortford at home. A disappointing 3-3 draw. We led after 90 minutes, but again, one of those late equalisers which cost us. They were playing a narrow 4-3-3, and we just couldn't cope as we didn't have any subs left. But Jatta again with a brace, and Makaka, who's been pitching in with goals from midfield galore. Let's see how many he's got now. 6 in the league, 7 in all competitions. A fantastic season from the young Congolese man. And we also had Jatta get a brace in that game, which takes his total to the season for 23 in 24 in the league and 26 in 25 in all competitions, as he got a hat-trick off the bench in the FA Cup. And I just wonder now he's on 46 goals, what the record is at the club. Why don't we go and have a look, because he might be able to break a record while we're here. Most league goals by a player, 84. I tell you what, if he's here next season and so are we could well see him break it towards the end of the year. It's been absolutely fantastic by him. He's already going to break the most league goals by a player in a season since this save started. Papi Gay was 16 before, he's already well past that. And I think we've very much found our hero of the save in Seika Jatta. But if we go to those transfers, we mentioned Jarvis. He wasn't the only one to come in. He was one of two, in fact. But him joining did mean that one of our young strikers, Fabio Tavares, went out on a free to Telford. He'd barely kicked a ball for us. I think he'd made 2 sub-appearances. And he's already made a start for Telford, so we couldn't begrudge him the move. And we hope he does well in the future. But Aaron Jarvis, the man we had at Hemel Hempstead on loan, probably the only player we got on with there and the only player who actually delivered for us. He scored an unbelievable goal in the first game we played on camera in what I think was episode 2 of the series, our first game of Hemel Hempstead. Of course, things went drastically wrong there very quickly, but he was an absolute superstar. He was scoring at just under 1 a game. He was brilliantly consistent and he scored one of the best goals of the series so far in that match. You can see he's not got off the mark in the league yet, but he has got an assist and he also scored a goal in that FA Trophy game as we mentioned. So I have high hopes for him moving forward and hopefully he'll take over from Papi Gay as he goes over the age of 30. But at 22 years old and with 4.5 star potential, he's already filled out 3 of those stars and we've got him working with one of our other young prospects who's got a slightly better personality to hopefully edge him along. So high hopes for him and also for Brad McGowan, who came in on a free from Dulwich Hamlet, today's opponents who are top of the league. He's a 3.5 star centre half with 4.5 star potential. He's a really solid player and will hopefully become a good partner at centre half for Jack Batten. Okadina's rated better overall, but he just has too many holes and too many areas where he has poor attributes. So for these two for now, with a bit more experience and a bit more general quality across the board, we're hoping they'll provide us with a sturdy partnership at the back. And it has certainly helped defensively since he's been here. He's made the 5 appearances for us, but had played plenty for Dulwich Hamlet earlier in the season, so I'm not quite sure why he's left there really. But we're absolutely delighted he's at the club, and we'll have absolutely no complaints for them letting him go. So all that means that things are going pretty well, to be honest. If we go into today's fixture, we're away to the league leaders. We're not expecting a result, but we are hoping that we could pull off a draw or maybe just run them close. You can see they've played each other 5 times in this save and Dulwich Hamlet have won absolutely all of them. 2 of those were under us, although they were just narrow defeats. But obviously we weren't involved in the other 3 and we hope that we can get our first point against them today. A couple of changes to the tactic, just very slight tweaks we've made. We've changed our defensive width to more narrow just to try and close the channels a little bit. We were leaking goals galore in the last episode, as you know, so we just closed it up and it has worked a little bit. We've also changed ourselves to be more disciplined, just so our fullbacks don't get too far forward, and Oscar Ramirez holds his position in the middle there. He's now firmly taken over from Jack Bridge, and as a result, he's our first choice midfielder. And Brandon Kane's probably the first choice reserve, a youngster we've had at the club who's doing really well. He's developing quite nicely, and he's actually working with players to help with their personalities now. One of the biggest benefits to FM19 for tutoring is that 17-year-olds like him, if they've got the maturity and the personality, can actually help older players, which is something that couldn't happen before. So I'm really delighted with that. I just wanted to show you one other youngster from this league, and it shows you a little bit more what we're up against. If we start typing him in, he's playing for Wealdstone in mid-table in this division. They're in 10th place, a few points behind us. He's Anthony Anderson, and just look at this guy. He's an 18-year-old, he's joining Aberdeen, he had offers from League 1 and Championship clubs as well. He's scored 15 in 19 games from the attacking midfield position, and the quality he has is already of sort of League 1, League 2 standard. And he's going to be an absolutely sensational player, but just to give you an idea of what we're up against, it's going to be a very difficult task for us to hold our position in that top 7. But back to the lineup for today's game. Obviously we're playing a top of the table side, so we're going to have to be at our best, and hopefully this squad will be able to do just that. We've got Freeman in goal, who's been generally good this season, but has made a few absolute clangers off camera. Atkinson and Dearman are the fullbacks. Atkinson's overtaken Williams low again. He's just been training harder and he's got a better personality. McGowan comes in at centre-half alongside Batten. We've got Daly and James as the wingers, with Ramirez and McCarker in central midfield. And Gay and Jatta continue their combination up front. Aaron Jarvis having to settle for a place on the bench alongside Kane, Redding, Okadina and Bridge. The squad is starting to shrink again, but we have got a few of those reserve players down in the under-23s. The non-contract ones that we only have to pay as they play, and although they're only 1.5-star ability, they are people who can come in on the bench and cover a position for the odd game. So we look fairly well set, but I would like our director of football to go and just get one superstar for us for the rest of this season. If we do that, the top 7's very much a strong possibility. Let's get into the game, and fingers crossed we can get a shock result. We're going to encourage the lads. They've been doing well. They're unbeaten in a long time. Dulwich Hamlet are playing their 4-2-3-1. So it's a very good job we're playing more disciplined now, because that attacking midfielder is going to make those runs behind. And if it is Dominic Vos, who was at Wrexham, I think, a couple of years ago, he's a really good player and we need to be very careful of him. Here he is on the ball there to Kay. Robinson on the right for them, inside to Kay again. Burge has got the ball, goes for the long shot, and I tell you what, that wasn't far over, but we survive at 0-0 in the first minute. We've got a free kick in the right back area with Atkinson. He finds Makaka in the middle. Daly on the right wing tries to go down the line, but it's a poor ball that's given away. Again, we still haven't got a backup for Daly on the right wing. Thompson's in one-on-one. It was a really poor misjudgment at the back, but luckily they've put it wide and wasted another great chance. And with 4 minutes gone, I'm starting to think this is going to be a long day, and getting a point might be unlikely. They've got the ball 30 yards out with Burge to Kay. They're playing it in the middle between the three of them. Vos back to Kay again, goes for the shot and it's wide. And although they have had the dominance, they've been shooting from distance so far. They've got a throw in on the left again. Bertrand back to Burge. I'm pretty sure that's not Ryan Bertrand, sorry, but I'm happy to be proven wrong. Robinson on the right for them, cuts inside to Burge. Burge is going to have the shot as he finds Vos. It was a good ball. The shot's blocked. It's gone back out to Kay, and he scored an absolute screamer from the edge, and we're already 1-0 down with just 7 minutes on the clock. A very good start for Dulwich Hamlet, and a thoroughly deserved lead. It's Ramirez in the holding role with a long ball over. Papigay chases it. He's got Jatta in the middle if he can find him. He can't. It's a great save by Bramley and then it's cleared behind by Bertrand. It's a corner kick and it's 1-0, but we've had our first chance of the match. Ball in by Dearman, an in-swinging corner towards Batten. He's lost out in the air and it finds Makaka. Makaka on the left-hand side goes back to halfway for Ramirez. Over the top towards Jatta, but he loses out in the air and Bertrand will bring it away for Dulwich Hamlet. Atkinson nods it forward, but no one's there, and it's easy enough to bring away for Dulwich. It's down the left-hand side to Holsgrove, inside to Burge. Burge has got the ball out to Bertrand on the left. They've got so much time in the middle, and the quality of those three is just so good. The only one I hadn't really seen much about was Kay, and you saw from his goal that he's clearly got the same level of quality. Robinson finds Kay again, into Muhu. Now Vos 25 yards out, goes for the shot, on target again, but it's an easy save for Freeman. We've got a warning to close Kay down, so we're going to go and do that very quickly. Let's get back to the action on the right-hand side. Kay gets it inside to Vos 30 yards out. Holsgrove on the edge goes for the shot. It's blocked and Dearman clears. But this is very much one of those FA Cup ties. Premier League v National League, holding on for dear life and just trying to keep it respectable. It reminds me a bit of managing San Marino in that old challenge a few years ago, where you just sat behind the ball and waited to lose 4, 5 or 6 and were happy as long as it didn't get to double figures. We're definitely not going to get a point out of this. We need to be clear straight away. The ball in from the right to Thompson, headed just over, and with 13 minutes gone, they've had 7 shots now, and we don't look like getting anything out of this game. 20 minutes gone now, it's Robinson with a throw on the right for them to Kay. Burge on the edge with time for a shot as well. Goes inside to Holsgrove, back to Burge again, it's blocked. Can Daly spring a counter-attack? Over the top towards Gay, headed away easily. Makaka goes long this time. Gay on the right-hand side, he's got Jatta in the middle. He had Daly on the overlap, didn't find either. Atkinson goes for a long ball forward, but it's blocked. And now it's cleared away easily from Dulwich Hamlet. Burge gets the ball to Kay, who goes over the top to Holsgrove. They're going to be in again, but Holsgrove puts it into the side netting, and we still survive at 1-0. But the pace at which they came forward from our attack was absolutely frightening. They've got the ball on the left again. They're just first to everything. Thompson gets inside the box. The shot's brilliantly blocked by McGowan, but it's behind for another corner. And we're just defending for our lives, but it looks like it's going to be to no avail. They look like scoring every time they come forward, and we're having to work so hard to prevent them from getting a shot away. Kay's had another one which has been blocked by Makaka this time, and is behind for another corner, this time an in-swinger. It's a left footer from Holsgrove who's put it in. It's in towards Gay who clears it away. Holsgrove again gets it back to Kay on the edge of the box. We've got to stop him from shooting again. He goes back to Van, and the highlight ends still at 1-0, but I have no idea how we've only conceded that one. We've got a free kick in the centre circle with McGowan. Out to Daly on the right wing. Can he beat his man? Delivers to the back post. Jatta with the header and he forces a save. It was a good header, but it was easy for the keeper. And it's still 1-0. But Dearman with a free kick. Another effort on target. Good to see us having a couple of attacks there, but they're happy to roll it out and they look completely comfortable at the back. Holsgrove into Kay in the middle. Kay switches it and look at the amount of time they've got with the man over on the right. Mewhu down the right hand side into Thompson, headed away by McGowan. Burge gets the ball back to Kay to Vos. Now Kay again. Kay gets the ball inside. They're just playing it between the three of them like usual. Kay and Burge having a lovely day out there. Gets the ball down the line to Mewhu and back to Robinson. Kay again in the middle goes for the shot, but this time it's comfortably over the bar and it's still 1-0. Half an hour on the clock and Kay's got the ball again orchestrating the midfield. He gets it out to Bertrand on the overlap into Holsgrove. We had another warning to close a man down, which we've done. It wasn't Vos who had the shot, but it deflected off his own striker and out for a goal kick. It's another corner for Dulwich Hamlet. Holsgrove with an outswinger into Van. Thompson nicks it off him on the line, but either way it's a goal. And it's 2-0 with 10 minutes to half time, and you can't say it hasn't been coming. We're in stoppage time now. It's Atkinson with a throw to Gay. McCarker gets it back out to Atkinson. Gay again. Inside to Daly. He's got time. He shoots. And on the stroke of half time, we've nicked a very undeserved goal. And that could change the game if we can get them in at half time. What a fantastic goal it was. It was well worked down that right hand side. Poor defending from Dulwich Hamlet, but it gives us a sniff going into the break. We're going to tell the boys they were disappointing because they got absolutely outplayed. We've only had one less shot on target than them. We have been clinical when we've had chances, either forcing saves or scoring, but we haven't had enough of them, quite simply. McGovern with the long ball forward. McCarker over the top. Jatta's in one-on-one here. He's through with the keeper and he's put it wide. Oh, Saker Jatta doesn't miss those normally. He's so reliable in front of goal, and unfortunately this time he's put one wide and we still trail 2-1. But Daly coming forward again on the right now. Delivers to the back post, but Bramley claims well for them. But a fantastic start to the second half, and we're starting to get back into it. Atkins had a poor game at right back. We'll take him off soon if we can. Ramirez switched it to James, but we're starting to dominate this half. Dearman with the ball over. Jatta doesn't get there and is cleared away. Thompson holds it up for them up front, and Burge gets it left to Holsgrove. We've got to defend well now on that right hand side. The cross is blocked. Falls to Burge on the edge and he shoots, but it's wide, and it's still 2-1 with 10 minutes gone in the second half. James on the ball again as we're having a frantic start to this half. Plenty of highlights, plenty of attacks, but now it's Dulwich starting to get them again. Robinson on the right hand side of the box to deliver. Are we going to get the block in? We don't. It's all the way back to Burge on the edge. Atkinson charges down the shot brilliantly, but it's back again to Bertrand in the Holsgrove. Vos with a shot and it's 3-1. You couldn't say it wasn't coming in the last 2 or 3 minutes, but after a bright start to the second half, it is a bit of a shame. But Wes Atkinson's rating's gone down to the 5s, and we will definitely have to think about subbing him in a second. Robinson on the right again. Can we at least keep it respectable? We've started to collapse here, but Freeman makes the save and claims at the second attempt before the defender gets there. And we're going to make those changes now. Let's pause the action. Can either of our centre-halves play at right back? We know Batten can, but he's the one we really want to keep in the middle if possible. He is the best one at right back, but McGowan can play there as well. I don't think Okadina can. He can't. So we're going to bring him on and put McGowan out to right back. We're going to give Jatta a rare rest because he's not really been coping well or getting any service. We're going to put Ramirez or McCarker in the holding role. I think it'll be McCarker for this one. And we'll bring Brandon Kane on into the middle of midfield. We've switched in with Ramirez and we can even play him in his attacking central midfield role now. We've got a bit more licence to move forward. And we're going to put Brandon Kane up to a support role just to get him a bit further forward. We're also going to have McCarker in as an anchor man. We don't want him to take any risks there. We just want him to mark Vos. We're going to push James forward a little bit on the left because we've got the deeper midfielder there, so he should have a bit more room to go forward. And we're going to change him as an inside forward, which is his preferred role on attack, just to try and get him supporting Pappy Gay. And in 5 minutes' time, we're going to give Aaron Jarvis a run out as well. Gay's an experienced man, and if we're not going to get something out of the game, we might as well play one of the youngsters and keep him happy. And he's still not quite at full fitness either. It's Thompson coming forward on the right as we wait for the changes to be made. I thought they were going to score before it, but Holsgrove puts it just wide. Kay again on the ball in the middle of the pitch out to Bertrand. Bertrand gets the ball in from the left-hand side, does he? It's blocked brilliantly and it's away to Gay. He's got that support coming from the left-hand side. Now the overlap from Ramirez. It's going to go out towards the white. Is Daly going to get there? He is. He's got 2 in the middle now. James is there, goes for the shot, and we're back in this game. The tactical change has worked immediately. And with a quarter of the game to go, we're just 1 goal behind now, thanks to Owen James playing in his preferred role. And this is giving me food for thought, looking forward to the rest of the season, especially when we're playing those big sides, like this one, Bromley in the FA Trophy in the next game, and then Dartford. They've had another shot which has gone wide, and I think I'm going to be doing some experimenting in that FA Trophy game. A long goal kick up towards the front men, but it's cleared away easily by Bertrand. Dearman brings it down at the back for us and goes long. Pappy Gay's never getting there, and it's cleared away by Kay. Kay over the top to Mew, who in across the right-hand side. Holsgrove wins the header ahead of the right-back, and it's behind for a goal kick. You'd have thought McGowan would be winning headers there, but it's not the case, and we still trail 3-2. Just under 10 minutes to go. Pappy Gay's not looked like scoring, so we're going to bring Aaron Jarvis on just to see if it makes any difference at all. I don't know if he's better in the target man role. I think he is. I remember from Hemel Hempstead. So we're going to play him as a target man on attack, and we're just going to try and pump balls into him. We'll see if it works, but with 5 minutes to go, we've got a chance in this game, which is something you probably couldn't have predicted 20 minutes ago. Tracy with the ball on the right for them to Kay. It's intercepted by McGowan, who goes long over the top. Jarvis is chasing. The centre-half's missed it, but he just didn't gamble that time, and he's ended up suffering for it. Bramley plays it away to Van. Van over the top for them. They're going to get on the end of this. Okadina's misjudged it horribly. There's the game. Okadina's not starting, and that's the reason for it, because he's absolutely awful at the back, and he just misjudges aerial balls so often. We've had another shot with Kane from a free kick, which has gone wide, but it's good to see that we've put up a fight since changing formation. We've been thoroughly outplayed and deserve to lose, but the fact is only 4-2. It's testament to the way we've played going forward in this half. They've got one final attack here with Burge back to Van. They were just keeping the ball comfortably. It's game over. It's 4-2. We didn't deserve anything out of the game, but we put up a fight. And to be honest, the sides like these and Dartford are just a class above us. The fact we're competing in those positions in the league is brilliant, but we're as far behind Dulwich as we are ahead of the relegation zone. So that tells you the quality they've got this season. Them and Bromley are running away with the league, and if Dartford win their game in hand against us, they'll join them. But the rest of the pack is just chasing along as well as possible. And remarkably, at this stage of the season, we're one of those chasing for a playoff place. If we can nick a quarter-final, it would be an absolute miracle this season. But a top-half finish would be just as pleasurable when we've got such a small side on a small budget. If we look at what they've said about the game quickly, Dulwich Hamlet dominated and we couldn't resist them. It's a quite accurate summary of the game and we have no complaints about it. If we go and have a look at the schedule, I'm assuming we won't get through against Bromley, but if we do, of course, we'll show one of the big FA Trophy games moving forward. If not, we'll be back for a game towards the end of February. You can see we've got either Hemel Hempstead, such a big game for me personally, having been sacked by them after just 4 episodes and 3 months of the first season. And we've got the added spice now of Aaron Jarvis being here and going back to his old club as well. And their centre forward, Jake Scrimshaw, obviously a hero for us at Torquay in Season 2, in our other save part of the furniture. So much going on in that one. Of course, the playoff picture may change around then, and we may have a big game that presents itself against another side. But we will be back sometime around the end of February, where hopefully we'll obviously have a youth intake as well. This club has a youth recruitment, so we should get one, and hopefully we'll have a player as good as Brandon Kane was last year, just before we joined the club. But that will be all for this episode. If you did enjoy it, please put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know down in the comments what you think of the side, and if you're happy to see the return of Aaron Jarvis. Do you have any suggestions for what I should do against the big teams? Do you think 4-5-1 is an option moving forward? Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager content from my 2 FM19 stories. This one, the head coach, obviously, as well as our other series, part of the furniture with Torquay United. But a massive thanks for watching this episode as always, and we'll see you next time.